All right, we're going to go ahead and get started to respect everyone's time. Hello, everyone. My name is Chanel Harmon, and I'm the coordinator for Small Business Development and Outreach. I'm also joined by the Director of Diversity Programs, Juan Pablo Pareto, and CTA's purchasing team. Welcome to What to Do for RFQs. So for our agenda, you'll be hearing from me about, I'll be covering diversity programs, and then we'll go into purchasing to cover the details about RFQs, and then we'll have a Q&A session. We ask that throughout the presentation, you remain on mute until the end. Feel free to use the chat box, or if you're comfortable, feel free to unmute yourself at that time and ask your question. CTA Diversity Small Business Programs. Certification in Small Business Programs. The CTA Small Business Program is designed to give certified small businesses an opportunity to bid as primes on CTA contracts. Under the program, select contracts are set aside for small businesses to bid on as prime contractors. If you are certified as a DBE with one of the other 4 Illinois Unified Certification Program members, you are considered an SBE. Those other agencies include City of Chicago, Illinois Department of Transportation, PACE, and Metro. CTA's workforce initiatives. Workforce initiatives. We work with our workforce partners, Hire 360 and Chicago Cook Workforce, to partner to provide training and apprenticeship to individuals interested in the trades. Many of these participants work on CTA projects like the RPM. Our Mentor Protege program. This program was created to enhance the capability of our DBE firms and increase opportunities for DBE participation on CTA contracts. CTA always wants to be sure that our firms are procurement ready, so we offer technical assistance in the area of contracting strategies. This involves identifying the best opportunity for your firm. Next, market research. This involves identifying where the opportunities lie. Marketing to the primes. We host various outreach meetings so smaller firms are able to connect with primes working on CTA contracts. Access to capital. Our Building Small Businesses program offers cash flow resources to help businesses successfully operate on CTA contracts. And we also offer educational resources through our Small Business Educational Series. This is a 9-week cohort taught by industry leaders. Topics covered include budgeting, estimating, and project management, just to name a few. Many of the courses are taught by firms like Jacobs Engineering and Clark Construction, just to name a few. The purpose of this series is to help businesses successfully perform on CTA contracts. There are various ways for you to connect with us. Connect with us through our outreach events, such as this one. All members of the CTA Diversity Team staff, we encourage one-on-one meetings. Feel free to reach out to us. We're here to help, and we want to hear from you. Our DBE Advisory Committee. This is where concerns of DBE firms are addressed and recommendations for operational and administrative improvements are made. Our pre-bid meetings. We encourage you to attend our pre-bid meetings. This is where you get an in-depth understanding of the specific contract that you're interested in bidding on. Scope of work is covered, and this is the opportunity for you to get your questions answered. Our assist agencies that we work with. Our technical assist agencies are there to help you enter and navigate the world of government contracting. They offer various resources to ensure the success of your business, so we encourage you to take advantage. Also connect with us through social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, and our CTA Doors Opening YouTube page. Getting started. it's important for you to register as a CTA vendor. As I previously mentioned, when we're setting aside these contract opportunities, it's important, the more DBEs that we have in a specific category, the better. So we encourage you to always register as a CTA vendor. Consider obtaining the DBE certification. CTA, again, only accepts the DBE certification from CTA, of course, PACE, METRA, Illinois Department of Transportation, and the City of Chicago. When reviewing current solicitations, we encourage you to also look at our bonfire portal. This is an overview of current contracts that are out for you to bid. Then we have our buying plan. This is where we recommend you use when you're forecasting opportunities. The buying plan is a look ahead of contract opportunities to come down the pipeline, so you're able to prepare for those opportunities. And next, I'll pass it along to Joel from our purchasing department.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for attending this meeting. My name is Joel Wojcik, and I'm the procurement administrator for CTA's purchasing department. So doing business with the CTA, as Chanel mentioned, a link to Bonfire. So what I want to show you is that if you go to transitchicago.com, you can select more and then go to contract opportunities. And when you go to contract opportunities and get used to using the CTA website, there will be a link for Bonfire. I highly recommend that everyone after this meeting registers to be in the Bonfire system so you can be up to date with current CTA opportunities and contracts. And it's a new system, so you could get used to it and familiar with it for if you're interested in contracts at a later date or current contracts. So how does CTA opportunity, how are these opportunities advertised? So number one is CTA advertises on our website through the Bonfire portal. And again, I would recommend to register through that, as well as the Chicago Tribune. Registered vendors receive email notifications based on the NACIS codes. So whatever NACIS codes that your company's involved in, whatever industry, you will get a NACIS code assigned, and that helps us when we're working on certain types of contracts to include you in those email notifications. I would also recommend to consult CTA's buying plan on the CTA website to get an idea of CTA's plan for future procurement. Request for qualification. So one of the many solicitations is an RFQ. It's a request for qualification. Unlike an RFP, price is not a factor. So the evaluation criteria is listed in the RFQ, and that evaluation criteria can vary, as well as an evaluation committee that CTA will put together. So RFQ, what does CTA look for? So evaluation of a request for qualifications is based on the offer most beneficial to the CTA. An evaluation is usually based on a written response and an oral presentation by the finalists if required by the CTA. Selection criteria may include, but are not limited to, experience of the firm and key personnel qualifications. Some RFQs may have bonding requirements. This can be evidenced by a letter of commitment from an insurance underwriter, broker, and/or bank confirming that the proposer has sufficient available bonding capacity. RFQ purchasing guidelines. Please read the RFQ instructions, sample scopes of services, proposal requirements for firms, and key personnel carefully. This is very important that you really are thorough in reading all of the documents in the solicitation package, so that when you submit your proposal, you are understanding exactly what CTA is looking for, and you are providing everything that we are asking for, because that's very important. So the goal is to provide the most qualified individuals with credentials that meet or exceed the requirements based on qualifications and not pricing. All qualified vendors have the opportunity to bid on each project. The goal is to get a pool of vendors based on qualifications. And once we get the pool of vendors, we will issue task orders, and that will be based on the lowest bidder for each project issued. And again, we want to make sure that you complete all certifications and documents that we're requesting. One of the many is Buy America. It is important that if we're asking for a Buy America certification or another important certification, that you provide that, because many cases, vendors, you spend a lot of time working on this, and maybe you forget to put the Buy America, and unfortunately, we would have to throw a bid out in that case. So it again is very important to be very thorough with what we are asking, and to include everything that we're asking in your proposal. And also to pay close attention to the submission requirements and due dates in Bonfire. There may be question due dates, when the bids are due. There may be notifications along the way, maybe some sort of an addendum because we have to change something in the proposal, or a notice of information, or us responding to questions. These are just one of the many various things that can occur.
All right, thank you, Joel. So basically, we would like to cover a few upcoming contract opportunities that we have, and these opportunities here that we have listed, they were pulled directly from the CTA buying plan. So if you see something of interest and you want to go back and look at it, feel free to use the CTA buying plan link that was referenced earlier in the presentation. And this presentation is also being sent out to all the attendees, so you'll have access to it. So for our first one that we have come up is for our work services. This is our maintenance, construction, job order, contracting services. The project contract amount is still to be decided, but the contract length is for 36 months with the advertised projection date of Q3 of 2020-21. Next, we have another work services opportunity to furnish and install various types of glass. The projected contract amount is $2 to $5 million. Contract length is 36 months, and it's projected to be advertised for Q4 of 2021. Next, we have information technology opportunity. This involves management and maintenance of CTA system-wide CCTV video system. Again, the amount is $2 to $5 million. The contract length is 60 months and is projected to be advertised Q2 of 2022. Next, we have another work services opportunity. This is to provide various pipe duct and equipment installation services. The contract projected amount, again, is $2 to $5 million. Contract length is 36 months and is projected to be advertised in the Q3 of 2022. And next, we have a professional services opportunity. This involves the development of detailed mechanical and electrical drawings through reverse engineering for various rail and bus parts. The amount is $500,000 to $1 million. The contract length is 36 months and is projected to be advertised Q3 of 2022. So for the opportunities advertised for 2021 for 2021, there you still have time to prepare, but like I said, these were pulled directly from the buying plan. So if you see something of interest and it's for 2022, projected to be advertised, you have more time to prepare if you aren't already. And next, before we go into our Q&A portion, we want to leave you with a few important key takeaways. It's important that once these opportunities are advertised, that you download the bid package as soon as possible. The more time that you have to the more times you have to look over the bid package, you'll be more prepared when we have the pre-proposal meetings. And like I previously mentioned, the pre-proposal meetings are the opportunity for you to get your questions answered in depth and get a better understanding of the scope of work that's being asked. So as soon as you see that that bid package come out, it's important that you go ahead, download it, and start reviewing it and prepare your questions. Next, gather all questions and submit via Bonfire. We encourage you to ask as many questions as possible during the pre-proposal meeting. No question is too small, because we prefer you ask your question and have an understanding than submit your bid based on what you assume. But another thing to keep in mind, that even though we're willing to ask those questions, they aren't official until you submit them in writing via Bonfire. And next, it's important to have staff available to learn CTA's payment system in eBuilder. This is how our vendors and subcontractors get paid. So we encourage you to dedicate time to understanding the eBuilder system. Here we have our contact list for all of our diversity team staff. As previously mentioned, we encourage one-on-one meetings in any area, from small business development outreach. You have a question about certification or compliance or workforce, we want to hear from you. So here's all of our contact information, and feel free to reach out to us for any questions or assistance. We're here to help. And here we are for our questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to use the chat box, or if you're comfortable, feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead and ask your questions.
Good morning. I'm Joyce with S&M Plow Corp, and I'm interested in knowing more about the mentor protege program and how to get connected with someone to find out how to participate.
I'll include my contact information in the chat box, and you can reach out to me directly.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Joyce, to follow up on your question, good morning, everyone. Juan Pablo Prieto, Director of Diversity Programs. We have our Mentor Protege program on our website. So if you go to transitchicago.com/DBE, you can view the Mentor Protege program, and it's a great tool when you're approaching prime contractors to talk about opportunities, to have read that program and be ready to talk to them about mentoring and training opportunities. So I definitely encourage everyone to check out the Mentor Protege program and have that ready when you go meet with prime contractors to discuss opportunities to put a plan together.
I have a question. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
I did one job for the CTA over the winter at the Forest Park Elevated Station. And since then, I've quoted a bunch of jobs off of Bonfire, but I could never find the results of the bidding. Who won the job, who was awarded the contract. So I don't know if you could let us know how to do that.
Hey there, this is Tim Pelichek, Manager of Purchasing. Freedom of Information Act, you can ask about any one of those documents or any one of those procurements that you bid on, and they could actually send you a results and I think a brief summary of what the pricing came in at. But yeah, there's a link on the CTA website. You're gonna have to look for Freedom of Information Act, but you just send them an email and ask them for those specifics and they'll send it over to you.
Okay, so the bonfire website doesn't post that information then,
No, it doesn't.
does it?
We used to have the winners on the Chicago, City of Chicago portal, but I think that that's been down for a while now. They've been working to get something back up. It might be up. I haven't checked in a while.
Okay, and then my last question, because I bid a lot of proposals to the state of Illinois as well. And I bid a lot of prevailing wage. We're a non-union contractor. So as the prevailing wage goes, we're a commercial cleaning contractor. I use the janitors union hourly wage for that and include all their benefits. Is that correct?
It's hard to say. It depends on the contract. As long as you're meeting the prevailing wage on a lot of these, you're fine. But we also have contracts that require the a project labor agreement or multiple project labor agreement, which will have requirements as far as either being a union shop or willingness to become a union shop, which is a little bit more of a gray area.
Okay.
Yeah. So if that MPLA language is in there, you have to be able to demonstrate that you're either a union shop or willing to become a union shop. That doesn't mean that you have to be a union shop, but sorry, it's kind of like tricky language there, but yeah.
No, I understand, but you'll state that out in the beginning of the request, right? In the document.
It'll be in it should be in the solicitation package in the
Okay.
special conditions. It's usually near the end of the special conditions. So it'll be one of the last 3 sections.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And to Tim's point, some unions will even enter into project-specific agreements. So you don't have to convert all of your contracts to union agreements, but you may be able to enter into just a project-specific where you work on one project, pay dues on that, but don't have to convert fully to a union shop.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and then also our multi-project labor agreement does exempt job order contracting work. So if you see us put out job order contracting work, that is exempt from the multi-project labor agreement.
Okay. Thanks.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Mike.
With the mentoring program, what is the benefit to the mentor in the program when we bring it forward to them?
Great question. So a few benefits, right? One being obviously that they're helping develop better subs so that they can continue to use you in the future. And hopefully the hope is to expand your scope too, right? So, I know, Mike, I know you do concrete cutting, but maybe they can expand you into another scope that then they can use you on different bids. Also, we have language that we include in larger RFPs and LIQs. Those are requests for proposal and letters of interest and qualification, called our diversity outreach plan. And it awards bonus points to proposers that identify different elements of outreach in terms of the DBE community and workforce, one of those being mentor protege. So they can help get more points on their proposals if they're including mentor protege programs as part of their diversity outreach plan.
Thank you.
Yes, Cornelius Hill, Inspire LLC. I was wanting to know if the RFQ will actually say DBE in the heading, or is it something you have to go inside the proposal or the packet to look at to know?
Hey, Cornelius, that's a good question. It will say SVE on the cover page. But it also, if you go to the diversity section, there'll be the diversity goal there, and that will also say 100% SVE if it's an SVE opportunity.
Thank you.
I do want to draw that distinction. So we do have our DBE program, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, and then we have our Small Business Enterprise Program, or SBE. Under our small business enterprise program, we are able to set aside contracts so that only certified small businesses can compete for them. The hope is that, when small businesses compete amongst each other, you have a better chance of winning instead of competing with the larger firms. So any contract that has an estimated value of $5 million or under, our compliance team automatically looks at to see if it can be included in the small business program. The way that we make that decision, that determination, is if there's enough competition, right? We have to make sure there's enough competition within those work categories. So if you are, I was going to say this to the end, but I can go kind of into some of my talking points here. If you are not already certified, either DBE or SBE, now is the time, right? Don't wait until a bid comes out or until a contract opportunity is coming up. You're too late. Get certified now so that when those opportunities come up, you already have that certification. So look at the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. That is for socially and economically disadvantaged individuals, owners, and small businesses. If you don't qualify for the DBE program, but you are a small business, you may qualify under the SBE program. So take a look at that as well. As Chanel said, we are always open to one-on-one meetings to talk through your business and help you make that decision. Sean asked the question in the chat if we need to make an appointment. Email Chanel and she will get you time with whoever we need to pull in, whether it's the certification team or the compliance team, to talk through your questions to make sure that you have all the information. For those that are certified, and I see a number of DBE firms and SBE firms on the call, so thank you for joining us. But those that are certified, make sure that you're checking your NAICS codes or your work categories, that you haven't expanded. I know Mike, for example, went through an expansion request because he's grown his business, and that's what we like to see. So if your business has grown into new areas, make sure you're submitting an expansion request to your host agency, whether it's CTA or one of the other 4 partners, to let them know you've grown. The more firms we have in those work categories, the easier it is for us to set DBE goals. And then on the small business side, the easier it is for us to set it aside. Because we work with Tim and his group a lot on setting these contracts aside, and we want to make sure we get Tim and Joel some really good bids so that they have some competition when we're awarding these contracts. What we don't want to happen is, we don't get any bids and then we can't set it aside. We got to go out to the general market, or we only get one bid and we have to rebid it. We don't want you to have to do all that work all over again. We understand that even, for a large business, it takes time and money to put these proposals together. So that's exponentially greater for small businesses. So we want to make sure you only have to do that once. So encourage other small businesses to get certified. Encourage them to look at the small business program, set aside contracts, and put in proposals and bids, and ask questions. Like Chanel said, diversity programs is your #1 advocate within CTA. If something is out for bid, make sure you submit those questions officially through Bonfire. If you have questions on upcoming opportunities that are on the buying plan, get us looped in. We can try and help you get the resources you need to complete those. We have technical assistance agencies that are listed in each bid. They're also on our website. We have some on the call today that you can reach out to that can provide procurement assistance, certification assistance. So there's a lot of resources out there that you can use to make sure that you're ready for these contracting opportunities. We also have a question from Anna. Is it beneficial or necessary to complete RFQs as a supplier, or is RFQ submittal for bidding parties only? Great question, Anna. If you're looking to be a direct contractor, prime contractor with CTA, you would need to complete one of these RFQs when they're out for bid. If you are looking to be a subcontractor or sub-supplier, you would then need to talk to the potential primes for that opportunity.
Yeah, and actually a really good thing you could be doing, especially with these SBEs, is we typically hold pre-bid meetings. So it's a really good chance for you to see who attends those meetings and maybe reach out to a few firms if you are a supplier that wants to get in touch with a prime. So you can always use that as a tool. I also want to mention that we do have a few contracts that are advertised now, not necessarily SBE contracts, ones with decent DBE goals. And I do encourage everybody to check the Bonfire Hub right after this. I saw Joyce was from S&M Plow. We do have a contract currently advertised for snow removal services. So if that's something you're interested in, please check it out. I encourage you.
And
Well,
to piggyback off Tim's point, just because something isn't set aside for small business doesn't mean if you feel you can pursue it as a prime, you shouldn't. We always encourage DBE firms to submit as prime contractors if they feel that they can handle the scope and size of the project. Maybe we didn't see enough competition, but you feel like you can take on the project, put in for it. If it's as Tim said, after the contracts are awarded, you can contact the procurement administrator that's in charge of that contract. If you didn't win, to get some feedback, either it was pricing or if it's an RFP, they can talk to you about your deficiencies in your proposal so that next time you can come back stronger. These are great questions. Any other questions?
I have one more.
Yep.
In the beginning of our meeting, you talked about I think there were 4 or 5 classifications for DBE. Our company has a letter from Pace Bus. Now, does that pretty much take care of any request for DBE status throughout the state and the city and whatnot?
Yes, so once you're certified as a DBE in Illinois by one of those 5 agencies, it's reciprocal. We have what's called the Illinois Unified Certification Program.
Okay.
If PACE certifies you, you're in the UCP directory. That means you're recognized by any agency that uses DBE.
Okay.
Those are the 5 that Chanel listed are the 5 that actually certify DBEs, but there are more like the Tollway, Cook County Department of Transportation, other smaller transit and transportation agencies throughout the state that use DBE. They just don't necessarily certify DBE, but yes, you're certified with PACE, you're covered.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. And please make sure that Phil brings up a good point that you are DBE certified. I know there is a alphabet soup of certifications out there. There's MBE, there's WBE, BEP. Just make sure that for transportation and transit projects, you need to be DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise certified. And the 5 agencies that are listed are IDOT, City of Chicago, CTA, Metro, and PACE. Those are the 5 that certify DBE. Do we have any other questions? I don't see any more in the chat. Great, I'm turning it back over to Chanel, but if you did join us late, we will be uploading this video to our YouTube channel, CTA Doors Opening. So look out for that in a few days, and then you can rewatch the video if you missed something, or if you weren't able to join us at the start. But again, thank you for joining us. From our president and board chairman, we are very committed to our small business program, and we know that when our small businesses succeed, we succeed. So please stay in contact with us. And again, Diversity Programs is your #1 advocate within CTA. Thank you, everyone. I'll turn it back over to Chanel.
Thank you, Juan Pablo. I would just like to piggyback on what Juan Pablo stated. Thank you again for attending, and this presentation will be sent out to everyone that attended. And if there are any further questions, this concludes our presentation, and thank you for attending.